Welcome to episode 9 of the FPL Lads podcast, your ultimate guide to everything Fantasy Premier League. Now, whether you're a seasoned manager chasing that top spot or a newcomer eager to outsmart your mates, we've got you covered. Each week, we will dive into the latest FPL news, all of the key player analysis, any transfer tips that's necessary, and all of our tactical insights at how to make those smart moves to get ahead of all of those colleagues and friends. Now, obviously, our key points here are to be answering all of those burning questions from everybody in the comments and to dominate your mini leagues. So let's get started. Can I introduce you to my cohorts? I'll start with Russ. How are things, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Just quick one, mate. That weren't script, was it?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Off the cuff, that.
Rossi?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, very well. Bugden?
All good here.
And Dave, how is it being in the doldrums after 2 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, it's not great, mate. I'll be honest with you. And I find it even weirder looking at Rossi without a beard. I've just noticed that.
Yeah, to be fair, I thought Bob had jumped on.
You've got to get his good looks from somewhere.
Excellent. Well, look, boys, it's lovely to be back with you all again. Let's really start with, obviously, after the international break, we're back into our next stage of the season. We've now been through, I think, circa 25% after this week.
Ooh, stats.
Yeah,
Indy popping them out.
exactly.
We've
Now,
already got,
obviously,
just really quickly, and we got our number one fucking watcher in the comments already, mate. From 6 o'clock, Jay's here. So
Evening,
hello,
Jay.
Jay.
Okay.
Evening, mate.
hi Jay. You're our favourite fan, and we always love to answer all of your burning questions. If we start with Russ today, obviously another blinding week, extending his lead at the top. How did we get on this week, Russ?
I'm just going to try and find which one's this team. I think it's this one here. Nope, that's you, Ind. It's that one there.
It's a solid team, Russ. Do you want to talk us through it?
Yeah, it's pretty crap, to be fair, point-wise.
Fuck off, you prick.
If Salah didn't do nothing, then I would have been with Dave. But luckily, Salah come through. Great captain pick from me. I've done a couple of transfers this week as well. I put Alanga in and Havertz, and I took out Diaz and Vardy. Vardy scored, which was a bit of shit because Havertz didn't, but Diaz didn't start and only got 1 point. So Alanga, so I sort of compensated with Alanga. But Watkins scored, got me some points. But other than that, it was a dead week, really. 1-2 points.
And that seems to be the case with most people this week. Everybody has had a very low scoring week. I think it's the lowest that I remember in history. I think average is 36.
Yeah.
That's really, really low in the circumstances. I think in my team there was only really 2 scorers. I think generally if you got 1 or 2 scorers, you're probably hitting average. If you got more than 2 scorers, you probably ended up probably just being a bit above. Or you could be like Dave and get nobody and sit directly at the bottom.
I want to point something out about Russ's team as well, mate. Because I actually, for the last few weeks, your captain choice has been on point. Like that's kind of what kind of propelled you really to the top and made you extend each week. It's because you had Saka when he had a blinder. Obviously, Salah on a low scoring week, scoring you 24 points, was it? Let's have a look. Yeah, 24 points. So your captain points have been on point. Obviously, without Haaland as well. You're the only one out of all of us without Haaland, and at the moment, it seems to be working for you. So, is it? What do you do when you pick your captain? How do you assess who you're going to play? How do you kind of work it?
Well, I look on previous games that the players have played against that team and see what form they've been in and things like that. And Salah usually always does something against Chelsea, so hence why I went with Salah. Really, it was only Salah or Watkins I could really go for this week. I left Saka in my team because I weren't too sure, but obviously he didn't play from the international duty. So I think that Mazari or whatever his name is from Man United come in. It's got me 1 point, so at least I didn't lose too many. I still gained a point. But yeah, to be fair, it was either Salah or Watkins. I went with Salah, which, to be fair, was the best captain pick of the weekend, really.
Back to you. Ian.
Yeah, I agree. I think actually, in hindsight, this whole Salah and Haaland debate that we've been having for the last few weeks, at the moment, your tactic is paying off and really helping you along the way. Whereas the rest of us obviously have. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't blame you for the decision. I blame Dave for this because he put a bit of a hex on last week when he was like, Haaland. Now I guarantee against Fulham he will score.
I guarantee the next few weeks and the next few fixtures he'll get big points, and he's got Southampton next, so it's coming.
Dave, don't say it. It's Southampton.
Yeah, Dave,
fucking
Dave. Yeah, Dave, shut the fuck up. Rossi, you're another one like myself. We both started with Saka, same as Russ, and had on our bench
Rodgers.
The Rodgers from Aston Villa, who did score and then came in quite nicely for us. How did your team do, and what are your thoughts following the week?
Let's have a quick look.
Like a lot of other people, not a great week point-wise, but my change this week worked out. I swapped Pedro, who was injured, for Wood, and Wood got a goal, so that got me an extra few points. And like you just said, I left Saka in the team just in case, and then Rodgers come on, beautiful, got a goal or assist, I think it was. And yeah, so defence was dead. I could have had Anya for Forest, got a clean sheet, could have got me a few more points, but apart from that, nothing really doing with it. I nearly took a 4-point hit. I nearly took Trent out to get some funds to get Foden in. I very nearly done that to take Eze out. I'm quite glad I didn't, because Foden didn't start.
But he got an assist though, didn't he, when he come on?
He did when he come on, but for the 4 points, to gain an extra 2 points or whatever he would have got for me, 4 or 2 points. So it wasn't the end of the world. I'm glad I didn't do that, and I'm glad I just put Wood in for Pedro. So now I've got Wood for a nice run as well.
And I see your goalkeeper struck with a good penalty save.
Yeah, that was nice for Pereira. You've got him as well, haven't you? Nice
yeah, I've got Martinez.
Because I put him in because I thought they had a nice run and they were good. They were good defensively. Then all of a sudden they just fallen apart and conceded every game. And realistically, it's the only way we've got points out of him in the last few weeks is through that penalty save.
Yeah. One thing I have noticed is that obviously normally in previous iterations of FPL you'd get kind of 3 points guaranteed for bonus if your goalkeeper makes a penalty save. That doesn't seem to be happening this year, which is awful because it seems to be that those FPL gods are really harming us. But yeah, look, we soldier on and we still make it work. But good, your team.
They doing the old points this year, isn't it, for the bonus? It's so strange.
Well, I think.
Yeah, I mean. Go ahead.
I think they dropped. The 3 from a penalty save to a 2, but because they're doing set points per save or whatever it is this year, so that bumps it up for that. But yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get the bonus 3 for or a 2 for a penalty save because he's kept them in the game, or he's made them helped them win the game realistically.
Exactly.
To be fair.
Nah, do you know what? I don't agree. I think that they're so rare to get a penalty save in a season. There's probably maybe 10 in a season, and that's every team playing every week. There's 38 game weeks, and you get maybe a maximum 10 saves in a season. Really, I can't imagine there's more than that.
I don't have the stats in front of me.
Yeah, exactly. But it's so rare. It's like the equivalent of like a goalkeeper getting an assist or something like that. It's just so rare that they should get some sort of benefit for it.
Profit from it, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the new system doesn't seem to quite even out. Is the one that stuck out for me is where Saka got 3 bonus, and it was a 0-0, and he didn't really do much, and at the end he's got 3 bonus, and yet you've got so many players that have all got clean sheets. and stuff like that. It's crazy.
It's so in the attacking favour this year with fouls won, shots on target, efforts, things like that.
Yeah. Whereas in previous years, if you missed a big chance, it counted against you. I'm not sure if it does that anymore.
No, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, right, Bugden.
Yo.
What are your thoughts on your team and your outcomes?
Well, as usual, I'm above average, so I'm happy with that. To be honest with you, I was disappointed in my decision making because I swapped Palmer. I transferred Palmer in for Salah.
Good man.
Because even though I'm a Chelsea fan, but I know Liverpool are better than us, I still had a little bit of faith in us putting something out the bag.
You've been counting everyone off for putting Palmer in lately.
Yeah, well, my heart got the better of me, and my brain fucking knows it. So I'm not happy about that. But I kind of got shot in the foot a few times as well. When you look at Barnes, he only played a little bit.
Yeah.
Java can't finish his dinner. Haaland's doing some strange Haaland thing where he's not scoring goals.
You just keep Haaland in your team, boy.
What's that?
You just keep Haaland in your team, hexing him up for me.
Right, well, I'm going to throw this little hex out here. I don't reckon he's going to score against Southampton.
Oh, there you go. Let's get the opposite. Who's going triple captain?
We've all relied on Haaland for the double points. He hasn't done it. And unfortunately, Russ has paid the piper.
Yeah.
But I got saved by Keane, obviously, which is a bit of a unsung hero of recent for Everton because we've got a nice cheeky little goal and
goal from a defender with a clean sheet is big, isn't it? At this stage, especially the way Everton have been playing, that's really, really impressive.
Yeah. But I said there's no one really in that midfield, and I don't know why Semenyo's not taking fucking penalties for Bournemouth. I really don't understand it. He took the 2 penalties in pre-season, and I thought, well, he's going to be their taker. Matey Boy misses it the other week, and now Cliver's taking it. It's like, all right, mate. So I've already taken a -4 to rectify him this week.
Okay. Dave, let's take you onto your team.
Let's do yours, let's do me.
Mine?
Yeah, let's do me last. I feel like I should be last because of how shit it's been. So let's do you guys, mate. Talk me through it, and that's not you. That's you there.
Yeah. Look, I've doubled up on Aston Villa. I was really expecting them to actually be far more stronger defensively. It didn't quite work out. There was a save for the keeper, so that's come through. Nottingham Forest look very solid defensively. I really like the way Nuno has set them up. In terms of my midfield, look, I've got a decent group of players there. I would have ideally liked to have got rid of Luis Diaz, but I didn't want to hit the 4-point hit. I had Saka playing again, didn't play, so Rodgers came in, but that was something that I'd planned because I didn't expect Saka to play. But if he did, I didn't want to miss out, so he was in my starting 11 for that benefit, and it all played out for me. Strike Force, I went a bit of an unproven with Liam Delap, just to do something a little bit different. And Calvert-Lewin, to be fair, he's been in great positions and should be scoring but hasn't, and well, arguably with Haaland is the biggest disappointment for the last 2 weeks. To have 2 blanks is tough. And I imagine that all the way across many leagues, teams, he's probably going to be the sacrificial lamb, which is a shame.
But
doing it in the Champions League is not like doing it in a cold, wet Southampton pitch. Yeah, or Fulham or wherever else he's been missing out on the last few weeks. But no, I mean, look, it's solid points in real terms. If you're getting above average, then you're still trending in the right direction. It's just not quite worked for my team. On a different day, if Haaland scores one, that's 50 points at least, and that's minimum expectations really. But then that's the case for everybody really. Everyone's got Haaland, and if he's captain and he doesn't do anything, it's everybody else that really benefits from those kind of blanks.
Old guy.
Yeah, you're kind of creeping up behind me, Hind, and I don't really like it, mate. And I feel like within the next couple of weeks, I'll probably be bottom if I carry on the run I'm on. But
I mean, you're talking about me as if I'm P Diddy. I'm really not.
Only on a weekend. I'm gonna pull me up here for mine actually, because obviously I am usually hosting this, but I'm trying to let the boys have a go. And the reason I'm trying to have a go, I'm going to pull my team up now. Mine's a little video, boys, so you'll have to unmute yourselves. But this is me right now, because right now this is how I feel.
Now I'm panicking.
Don't panic.
No, I am, because I'm going to lose my job.
Nice little preemptive mute there.
I'm going to lose my job, as it said there, because I've been absolutely horrendous the last couple of weeks. I think I got unlucky with Sells getting 11 points on my bench and Raya only getting me a point. He's been a bit shit for me lately. The defence, obviously, 4 points between 3 players is never great, and even worse with the midfield, every single one of them blanking. The only one that got me points really this week was Ollie Watkins. So I made one substitution. I changed the lap for Jackson. Jackson went and scored. The lap did nothing. So yeah, it's 28 points, a lot below average. Was at 8 points below average. So I'm not too happy in terms of.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. But you just.
There's one good thing to take. One good thing to take from it, Dave. You're consistent.
Yeah, consistency. I think for me,
Dave.
yeah.
All right, just a quick one, mate. 2 weeks ago, you took a -4 to get 3 Chelsea players in.
Yeah.
The week later, you took one out, put one on the bench. What was your process of putting
To be
3
honest,
Chelsea in to get rid of them the next week?
I'll be honest with you, mate. I wasn't really thinking at the time. Like I put Sancho in for Madueke, and after I'd done it, I was like, "Why have I done that?" Like I didn't understand my own thought process of why I actually did what I did, and then it was too late because it was done. Luckily for me, I put Brennan Johnson in. That was my -4, because if I hadn't done that, last week would have been even worse than it was. So, that kind of saved me a little bit. But I am following. Remember, I said last week that I've got a plan, a strategy. The start of that strategy was this week by putting the lap in instead of Jackson to get some funds. And my original plan was to bring Saka in. But that's changed now, and I've brought someone else in for next week based on their run of fixtures that are coming up.
I know who.
Which was a decent, I think should be decent, depending on how they play and the points they should get. Realistically, he should get decent points. And then my plan for the following week, I do have a transfer in mind. I might roll yet, I'm not sure yet, but if not, I have a transfer in mind we get somebody else in who's got a good run of fixtures. But my one transfer this week is Sancho's out and somebody is in. It's not Foden, but Sancho is out and somebody else is in, and I'm hoping that
he started tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping that obviously it does work out, because 2 weeks in a row I scored less than 30 points, which is pretty shit. But I'm not panicking just yet. I mean, I'm starting to feel it a little bit. My arsehole's twitching a bit. I can feel Indy creeping up on me, and my issue is my captain is for the last 3 weeks has done nothing. I've stuck with Haaland every week, and the last 3 weeks he's done sod all. So it's hurting me a little bit. So there's not much I can do really, mate. I don't really feel like on paper my team is that bad. I'm just not getting. How Semenyo only got 2 points against Arsenal, I'll never know, because he was fucking unbelievable. So it's just one of them.
Had there not been a sending off, did you think that Semenyo against Arsenal was a good pick pre the week starting?
I think Semenyo is a good pick against anybody. I generally think.
I agree on that.
Yeah, I generally think he's that good.
Is expected goal involvement? Is expected assists? Is expected goals? It's up there with everyone. He's just not finishing at the moment.
See, I agree with you. But then if you look through the rest of Dave's team, he's not picked the main guy in some of the other teams. So a lot of his picks seem to be wasted. Like I appreciate Brennan Johnson's been in form, but now that Son is back, Son will be the guy.
Son's now injured again. Apparently,
Oh, is he?
Apparently he limped off injured, in training. So apparently he could be out for a few weeks again. So I don't think Brennan's a bad pick because of his form. I think there's always, an involvement from Dan James, which will, make things a bit easier. But, the way I kind of look at my team, I'm not in a terrible place. I've just got players that aren't performing as they should. And it's just one of those blips. We all go through them in FPL. There'll be a time when every single one of us will have a week that we'll go, fuck me, that was horrendous. I'm quite fortunate this week because the average is so low. And I'm a lot less than the average. If I put cells in, I'm at the average. So it's apples and pears, mate. There'll be weeks where the players that I've got will outscore other players. I've just got to kind of roll with it at the moment, and it's still early. I think at Christmas time is when I'll really look and go, okay, waiting for that wild card kind of thing. But right now, I'm not panicking. I'm just kind of rolling with it, and I'm hoping that the plan that I've got, because I'm trying to plan ahead rather than what I've always used to do, and it used to fuck me up in FPL, was I used to just make transfers just for the sake of them. I used to get caught up in, they scored 2 goals this game, let's put them in. I'm trying not to do that anymore. So the Sancho transfer was a stupid one, and
Medwecki, Sancho, Palmer, all went in Dave's team.
Well, Palmer's always going to be in my team, mate, because I think Palmer...
Rossi. The key word was trying. He's not succeeding, but he's trying.
I am succeeding in a way, because Palmer's always going to make his way into my team because he's Chelsea's main man. He's their penalty taker. He's guaranteed points for that team. After they've got over this little run, they've got quite a nice little run, so he will stay in my team. The other 2 Chelsea players I probably won't get back, but I've just got to kind of roll with it and accept the fact that my captains aren't performing. Haaland's done fuck all for 3 games, but I still believe for the next few games there's something there. I'm not going to say what because I don't want to hex him or jinx him, but there's something there, and it's still fairly close to the league. Next week we'll reveal the league to everyone to see where we all are, because week 10 I think we would do that.
Well, going on to Haaland, and I know that we've discussed this in previous weeks, we've talked about the effect of Kevin De Bruyne not being there and Rodri not being there, and that was something that was highlighted as there will definitely be a lack of chances for Haaland. Do we believe that we're seeing that, or did he just come up against teams that played him quite well?
There's no creative in that team.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of both as well, though. Because they
seem to be getting to the edge of the box quite well, but then that final pass, the De Bruyne pass, or the Foden's not getting a game, the wingers seem to be a bit
in and out.
Yeah, a bit void of confidence to go past a guy. And I think Haaland is basically up against kind of 3 or 4 centre-backs because everyone's just camped at the 18-yard box. The parts of the game that I saw against Fulham reminded me of Arsenal playing with 10 men, just camped on the box and saying, well, keep it wide, we'll just nod it out.
But the thing is...
He's back on the score sheet tonight. He's back on the score. He scored an incredible back heel, apparently. So.
Yeah, it weren't, but it was a good one, like a little scorpion thing. But the thing is with City, not 90% of the teams they're going to do that anyway. They're going to sit in deep because City are going to have possession. And if you look at Haaland, he's not really one of these. All right, he goes on runs, but then he has spells where he misses, where he doesn't score for 3 or 4 games. But then the next game he's going to get 3. So it makes up for the 3 games that he scored before, and that's the problem. It's keeping him. It's whether you trust in keeping him for the long enough to get the 3 or 4 that he's going to get in the next few weeks. You would think.
Do we know the difference in points between Haaland and Salah? Does anyone know that?
Salah's winning.
I'll have a look now, quick, but they are close. They are very, very close.
Salah's got most.
Big up Harry in the chat. Harry, it's good to see you, mate. I'm glad things are going well over at Scarfy Spurs. Yeah, I'll have a quick look now. Let's have a look.
Barcelona.
Jay's commented.
Evening, Harry. Barcelona are terrible.
Jay.
Are they winning? Are they Barca?
4-1. They're smashing them. Rafinha hat trick.
Right. So Haaland has.
He's pissed off Rafinha, ain't he?
Yeah.
Haaland gets 9 points.
Number 11.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 5 points difference. Salah's on 74. Haaland's on 69. And Haaland.
In real terms, the captain choice was probably through the first 4 weeks Haaland, Then it turned into Saka for that 1 week. And then probably since it's been Salah. Would that be fair? Would everyone agree that that was probably the way to go with captains?
Their next few fixtures,
you had
Haaland's
Palmer, didn't you, as well? Had 4 and 4.
Haaland's got Southampton, Bournemouth, Brighton. Salah's got Arsenal, Brighton, Villa. The next 3.
I mean, Brighton are tough, Villa are tough, and Arsenal, whilst at the beginning of the season looked very good, they seem to have gone through a bit of an identity crisis. Injuries have mounted up, sending offs haven't helped them, and they seem to be struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
Russ, what do you think?
I agree, mate. I agree. Injuries have hit us. These 2 international breaks have fucked us right over.
And Calafiori got injured yesterday, didn't he?
What's that?
Calafiori got injured yesterday.
Yeah, he's injured. I think we've got about 6 or 7 first-team players out against Liverpool at the weekend, which is massive. I can see us losing at the weekend, 3 or 4.
Is it at your place or is it at Anfield?
It's at our place, but we got no players really. No one that can really do anything really. No attacking threat.
Well, what's kind of your defence going to be, Root? Arsenal's defence going to be? Because this was interesting to me because David Raya is obviously, he struggled the last few weeks to keep clean sheets, and he's been my mainstay as a goalkeeper. When you've got Sells who's outscoring him pretty much every week, so for me, that's going to be a change I'm going to make next week. But what's the defence going to look like? No Saliba, no Calafiori. Timber's still injured.
I reckon they'll probably move Ben White into centre back with Gabriel. I reckon Kivior might play, but he's fucking hopeless. He's just another Mustafi.
Mustafi.
Yeah, he's crap. But I'd give that little youngster, Nicholas, that we got a go at right back. I know it's against Liverpool and it's chucking him in, but with Timber out, and then you need Ben White. Tomiasu's injured as well, so he can't play there. It'd be a tricky one, but I can see Arteta going with Partey playing right back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he keeps putting him there. The last couple of games, he's playing him right back. So I've got a feeling he might go right back, and then, like I say, it'd be White, Gabriel, and Kivior.
Well, Haaland's got 2 tonight, and John Stones has also got 2, so I might put John Stones in my team. I'm joking, I ain't going to do that anymore. But Arsenal's an interesting one, Indy. I'll let you carry on in a sec. But we had a conversation a few weeks ago about their defence and how we feel like they're going to get us the most points. None of us have really got an Arsenal defender apart from goalkeepers. And who's got Raya? Me. But, yeah, so we've all got Raya, and I'm struggling with it because for me, I can't see how that Arsenal team are conceding as frequently as they are. Against lesser teams. It's fucking mind-boggling. I do want to say the same about City. It's not FPL related, Rose, but it is Arsenal related. Do you think Arteta has to win a trophy this year?
Yeah, I've said that at the start of the season.
What would be acceptable though? Do you think FA Cup's enough, or do you think Premier League? Or
any trophy and Champions League. He needs to win something this year, in my opinion. I'll take any cup and Champions League.
What if he doesn't? Where do you stick with him? Do you think keep going as you are?
Depends on who's available. Depends on where we finish at the end of the season. If we finish second again, then maybe stay another year. But I don't know. I just don't think he's the manager to get us over the line. I think this is probably as far as he could get us. But then if we kept the 10 men, if we kept 11 men on the field, every game that we've been down to 10 men, I reckon we beat Brighton, we beat Man City, and we beat Bournemouth.
Is discipline a problem? Story. Do you think discipline's a problem? Because all I keep hearing is them moaning about it, saying, it's not a discipline issue. It's just
it's a bit of both. I think the refs are too fucking inconsistent for one. Yeah. But then the players know the rules at the start of the game, don't they? They get told at the start of the season, right, these are the new rules, abide by them. And they can't abide by them, they get sent off. So it's their own fault, really. But then it's costing us.
Back to you, Ind.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's an interesting point with Arsenal because they are very topical at the moment because I don't think anybody saw them losing to Bournemouth. However, I did in our group chat say that I thought that they could get turned over today. I didn't expect it the way it happened, and I didn't expect them to lose, but I did think that they might concede early and then possibly draw. But the way it happened was very surprising because even before the sendings off, I don't think Arsenal looked that great either.
No. We look too slow. Like I say, we're missing Odegaard massive, and then Saka not being there just showed just how important he is
Yeah.
for Arsenal.
Shows how important he was.
I agree.
Well, I saw a meme about Raheem Sterling, which is that you didn't pay a transfer fee, and Chelsea are still paying the lion's share of his wages, and you've got him basically on a loan till the end of the season with no obligation to buy, and yet Chelsea are the ones that won that deal.
Yeah, but to be fair, he looked decent against Bournemouth. He was our only attacking threat, in my opinion. And then Saliba obviously got sent off, and then we had to take him off. But the first half hour, I thought he looked really good. He looked quite sharp, and he was our most dangerous player, I thought.
Yeah. Well,
But
I mean,
then he was shit yesterday.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? When you've got a team that Arsenal had, which when they're all fit and firing, he's a bench player and not anywhere near the first team, and he might come on for 20 minutes towards the end to see it out, which is probably where he is now in his career, especially when you're thinking about the top 5 or 6 teams. I'm surprised that he didn't go for a loan at a lesser team where he would play every week.
Yeah.
Could have gone to Tottenham.
No one wants to go to Tottenham, mate. No one wants to go to Tottenham.
Yeah. Bugden, let's take on to your beloved Chelsea now. Now, they went to Anfield and it didn't quite work out for them. What was your take on the game?
To be honest with you, I like the fact that we're playing better football now. We look like we're going forward. We look like we want to score, whereas we didn't last season or the season before. So even though we lost, I still think it's a bit of a good takeaway that we want to score. We want to go forward. That's pretty much it.
You should have had a penalty as well.
Yeah. Not only that, you're well in the game, and I agree. I think you could have snuck something there. Definitely, there's no loss.
Yeah. I felt that they had a bit of a brittle centre. The way Curtis Jones just continually ran through midfield, got onto the end of things with not really much in terms of anything stopping him was a bit surprising. And I would like to think that against the lesser teams, this won't be a problem. But against the better teams, the way that they were able to fashion so many chances and get one-on-one with your goalkeeper was really worrying.
No, I get that. But like I say, let's be honest, that team's going to be together for a while. It's one of the youngest teams in the league.
Well, at least for another 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Contract.
They're all 22, 23.
Whether they like it or not, clearly.
Trust Ted Bowley. You've got it down.
What do you? Just quickly, Bug. It's like Chelsea's ownership thing is interesting now. They've had a fallout, haven't they? Todd Bowley and the other dude, and now they're apparently trying to bid each other to see who's going to buy the club. Who do you rather have, Todd Bowley or the other dude?
To be honest with you, they're both Yanks. They know fuck all.
I think that could actually cause Chelsea some problems. For me,
Bring back Roman. Bring back Roman.
I'd have Roman back any day. Roman Empire.
Roman.
So what? He was an obligate. So what?
So what? He had links to Putin and Russia, and they invaded Ukraine. It's fine because at the same time it's happening in Israel, and everyone seems to be supporting Israel. It is what it is.
Where do you generally think
Ukraine? Let's take his football team away. Yeah, it really worked.
Where do you think you're going to finish this year, Bug?
Do you know what? I think I said at the beginning of the season I'd be happy with top European football. I personally think we can get top 4 now.
I said that a few weeks ago, didn't I?
Yeah, I think we won't be pushing for first, but I reckon the top 4 would be good for us.
I reckon you're getting 4th.
Definitely.
So I'm happy with that.
Okay. Well, Rossi, now we have had a bit of bad fortune being Man United fans the last few weeks. Did you watch the Brentford game? And well, all right. I was trying to be nice because weeks could be multiples of 10s. It could be 12, 15, 18, 36, 52, 117. So it could be anything. But if this week we actually looked okay. Was I the only one seeing that?
No, I in spells again, but I think we're such a different team with Hoyland up front. We've got such an outlet. He's young. He's enthusiastic. He closes people down. He don't mind putting a challenge in. He's a good finisher. I think where that Xerxes been up front, it's so slow. It looks sluggish. Although his hold up play's been all right, but it sets the tone for a team. It goes up to him. It's like he runs. Whereas Hoyland's just a goer. I think.
But we'll see. Xerxes said himself that his best position is as a number 10. He's not a number 9. So obviously that would mean that he would be vying for Bruno Fernandes's spot.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was possibly we were umming and ahhing about selling him in the summer, because I don't really see why we would have bought Xerxes as somebody who himself calls himself a 10.
I don't really rate him that much either, Xerxes. I haven't seen anything that kind of makes me go, oh, he's
not anything that stands out. He could.
What a wonder kid.
But I think the thing is, Bruno's what, 31, 32 now?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't actually know. I would have thought 30s, possibly early 30s.
And let's be honest, if we did sell him tomorrow, as much as he's a whinger and all that, he's our best baller. Do you know what I mean? He's our best passer. He's our most influential player. So replacing that, even if I don't think Xerxes bought for that, because he's definitely not the replacement. You know what I mean? You need someone a lot better and more creative that's going to replace him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't see it for that reason. But then he hasn't really been firing this year. He's looked like he's trying, but I think obviously that red card didn't help, or that fake red card didn't help. It threw it a little bit.
Well,
and the thing, at the beginning of the season, I said he was going to be the highest midfield point scorer.
Did you? There you go. Now we know why he's shit.
Talking of that Xerxes.
Yeah, go ahead, Russ.
Talking of that Xerxes, I heard something the other day that he might be going in January already.
He might go out on loan, but
yeah,
I'd be very surprised. I'd be very.
I
not happy.
I can't see the benefit in him doing that. I mean, look, we've spent nearly 40 million on him to bring him in from Italy. He's going to have a bedding in process and a time frame. I think naturally to just throw him in the deep end, he's not happy playing up front. Fair enough. If he wants to play as the number 10, I'm presuming that a lot of these European games that are now coming up will give an opportunity for Bruno to be rested and he can play in there. And the surprising thing that was there for me for this week for Man United, though, was we talked at the beginning of the season as players that we thought might do well. I know Russ had Garnacho in for a period and took him out. Me and Rossi had Rashford in and we took him out. And I know, obviously, in general, we've been quite positive of Man United, but they haven't scored many goals this year. And I read a stat that we've got the worst XG of any team. And we've missed the most amount of chances. Now, if they start going in, does that mean that Man United forwards become relevant to everybody in this podcast?
No.
Only for me, only possibly one, Hoyland. Because
same as me.
I was going to have him from the start of the season. He was in my team and he got injured. I rate him as a player. I think the work ethic, and I think once he starts playing, I think look how cool he took that finish. I mean, I think he's a natural finisher. So that'd be the only option. But the problem is the rest of Man United.
See, I'll go back to Garnacho.
I'd agree with Russ on this. I was like, if I was going to go for one of the players, I would probably go with Garnacho. But the problem that I've got with Garnacho is he's better suited for us when we're playing on the counter, which means that we've got to be against a team that's quite ball dominant, and that's when he'll be. Yeah, that's the issue. Is at the moment he doesn't seem to be the flavour of the month, even though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Does Ten Hag rate him as highly because obviously he plays Ahmad a lot over, Garnacho. I'm with Rossi. I think Hoyland would be the obvious one. I think as a forward, he's exactly what you want. Exactly what you want.
So, and I agree with you, Dave. But the one thing that I will say is that this time, where Ahmad normally plays on the right and Rashford was playing on the left, Rashford actually started on the right and Garnacho came in, and Amad Diallo was the one that was essentially dropped or injured on that basis. So I wonder, now that we've stumbled on a front three that scored 2 goals and we look quite dangerous, whether that will be his go-to now for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
You don't know with him because he keeps saying about rotation because of all these games, and everyone else and no one else is rotating the fucking teams, but he seems to be. I don't think he's comfortable at all in general. And I don't, obviously he's a manager, he's won things and all that, but he just looks like he's not too sure. He doesn't want to do right for doing wrong. He just looks
I don't personally think that he knows his best 11.
No, I agree. I totally agree. And that's why I think he's just hanging on. Like, Indy, when you said at least with the Europe coming up, he can rest Bruno. I guarantee you he doesn't rest Bruno Fernandes.
No, I don't think
he can't afford to. He cannot afford to. And that's the problem I think he faces. Instead of being like, I tell you what, I'm going to rest them for the game because Premiership's more important, or whatever reason he's going to rest him, give other people a chance. He hasn't got the bottle, because if they lose, everyone's going to go, you left Fernandes out, you've got to go, you've got to go, you've got to go. And that's, I think he's in a corner at the moment. So how
much pressure do you actually think he's under?
Massive right now.
I think he's under like huge pressure.
I think right now, massive.
I think every defeat is being amplified to a level whereby if the performance and the defeat is kind of like a 4-0 and we really get played off the park, like some of the results we've had in the previous seasons, whether we lost 4-0 away at Brentford, 4-0 away at Palace, we've been battered at home by Liverpool. If there's a manner of that type of defeat and the scoreline reflects it as well, I would not be surprised if he goes. But I think that the board are giving him just effectively a stay of execution now, because whoever they get in can't really do much. They've got the same players, so they're kind of stuck till Christmas, January anyway. Or they have to go with... But they have to go with Van Nistelrooy if they go any time before Christmas, because I can't imagine any other manager wants to be involved.
No.
Now Tuchel's gone to England.
Jose threw that in the ring today.
Yeah, I see that. That's funny.
Well, let's go on to the next part of the podcast. I'm now going to be thinking about transfers in for our relevant teams. You don't need to...
Let me just...
you don't need... I know, because there's no point in talking about Tottenham. No, because do you know what? We saw that Tottenham had a good result, and I'm not going to give you the time of day, because that's what the rest of this podcast is for. So we're not going to talk about it tonight. And I think everybody in the comments seems to be high-fiving that. Even Jay said, he doesn't want to talk about that shower of shite. So that seems to be reasonable.
To be fair, 90% of the time, I don't want to talk about that shower of shite. So, and I wasn't on the show on Sunday, so,
I'll tell you what, Dave, I'll give you a quick 2-minute blitz, but I'm counting. Go.
All right. 4-1 against West Ham in their cup final.
I decided, actually, no, I don't want to hear
it. You're roasting, mate. You're off the keys, so you tell me what you want.
No. Go ahead. Go on.
4-1, like I said, 4-1 win against West Ham in their cup final. I thought we played actually really, really well. But then again, West Ham are dog shit this season. But
how come you always say it's their cup final? They beat you all the time.
No, they don't. It's because of how they act when they play us, mate. We are like their cup final. It's ridiculous.
That's kind of like Tottenham against Chelsea then.
Yeah, pretty much. But we never beat you. We never beat you, so I don't make a difference. But it's like their cup final, and we absolutely battered them. To be fair, we played some really nice stuff. Could have been a lot more. The sending off was definitely a sending off. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Kudos, he was their best player as well. But
when you say it was definitely a sending off, which part of the 3 assaults were you talking about?
He punched like 3 people in the face, didn't he, or something? So. Look, he's an idiot.
Have you ever seen that meme of the guy that just keeps slapping people as they keep talking?
That's literally
basically that. He's basically doing that.
He's now been charged again by the FA, so he's looking at a longer ban. But it was good for us to play some nice football again. But again, we're still a bit shit defensively, and that's a worry for me moving forward in the season. And it kind of brings you on nicely to your next point about transfers, because Pedro Porro is somebody that I'm like, is he somebody that's going to cost me moving forward because Tottenham can't keep a clean sheet?
Cool.
Okay. Well, look, I don't want you to divulge what your transfers in are going to be. So what I'm going to suggest is everyone mention 2 people that they're looking at. They don't have to be the people that you've put in, but definitely something that you're thinking about going forwards. So if we start with you, Dave.
Yeah, so for me, I've looked at quite a few people. I think Chris Wood is an interesting one because Forest generally look absolutely ridiculous, and he's their main man, it seems. They've obviously bought a 1 year for a lot of money, but Chris Wood seems to be the guy that they're relying on, and I generally think he could get 20 goals this season. I generally do.
You all doubted me about Chris Wood at the beginning of the season.
Not all of them, mate. Not all of them, Bug.
That's all. That man right there.
I was actually torn between Wood and Delap this week, but I thought Ipswich had the better fixture, and I thought there'd be more chance of goals for Delap. So, but he's an interesting one. Another person that's quite interesting is Brian Mbumo. I know most of you have got him, but I don't. He's another reason why his fixture list looks okay for the next few weeks, and he's Brentford's main man. So he's somebody I'll potentially look at. But my number one that I am looking at is Phil Foden. And the reason I'm saying that is City looks so poor creating chances and making chances without De Bruyne, without Rodri, that I generally think that once he gets in their team properly, now Grealish is injured, Doku's injured, Grealish is 2 weeks out, Doku's a bit longer. He's going to get minutes because they've got so many injuries in that position that I think they're going to call upon him. And I think for the next few weeks he's going to be somebody that I'm going to try and get in my team.
It's interesting you say Foden.
Yeah,
it's interesting you say Foden because actually Gundogan's been the preferred option of Pep in the league, and I don't see him being actually that effective at the moment. Whereas last year, whenever De Bruyne was out, Foden was on fire, and he was Player of the Year last year, and now he's struggling to get in the squad.
Yeah. I just think that it's just Phil Foden's one of them players that he's a confidence player in my opinion. He needs that backing from his manager, and I think what Pep's kind of done is he's tried to rotate his squad Pep roulette as he does this season, and the players that have come in have been playing pretty well. Doku's been playing pretty well. Grealish has looked pretty good, but I just think now they're both injured. He's going to have to use somebody like Foden. I don't think he'll start at the weekend. I think he'll be on the bench, but I generally think over the next few weeks he'll force his way back into that team, and you'll see again Grealish on the bench, Doku on the bench in that way. If you remember last season, Pep actually did the same thing with Foden. He dropped him at the start of the season. He didn't start every game. It was only from 10, 11, 12.
Go on, mate, he even said it. Pep even said it at the start of the season. I'm going to rest him for a few weeks. I've given him a few weeks off. And then he had the baby. He didn't. He did.
It is 2024.
Anything's bloody fucking possible. But so I think he just carried on from that break. I think he thought, from my point of view, I think Pep's thinking, right, 7 or 8 games in, I haven't used Foden at all, haven't had to. Now I've got a completely fresh, free Phil Foden coming in and kicking on. And like I said to you earlier, he was my choice this week's transfers, or last week's, as we talk now. He was going to come in, I was going to make way for him. But the only problem is the Pep roulette. And again, where I've seen him start tonight at Champions League, I don't know if he's going to start.
I agree. I don't think he'll start against Southampton, but with Doku and Grealish out and Rodri out and De Bruyne out, that's 4 of their key midfielders out injured. He's not going to. Who else can he really play? So I don't think he'll start against Southampton, but I think he'll probably come on.
Does that? If Grealish and Doku are both injured, does that mean he plays on the left though?
Yeah. If he starts, I think that's where he plays.
Well, that's Savinho geezer, won't it?
Savinho will be on the right. He started on the right tonight as well. I don't think Doku's actually injured. I think he's just.
No, he is. He is. They said today on TalkSport that he's going to be out injured for 4 or 5 weeks. I reckon.
Oh right.
Well, I hope Foden does start because I already transferred him in.
Okay. Well, let's go on to them, Russ. So you're matching up with Dave then with Foden in. What about other transfers of players that you were looking at? Because obviously I've got a fair few.
I was looking at Raul Jimenez for Fulham. Since game week 4, he's been getting attack and returns every week.
Yeah.
I think he's been decent. Like I say, since game week 4.
Somebody else did that a few weeks ago. I can't remember who it was though.
Indy, I think.
It was me. I raised it on one of the points and didn't put him in. Went for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, went for Liam Delap, and all of them I've been terrible since. But that's a fair point. Raul Jimenez, any others?
No, not really, mate. Like I say, I'm quite happy with who I got. So if I was going to get someone in, it would probably be Jimenez. But then I've got Watkins and Havertz as my strikers anyway. So to try and get him in, I'd have to get rid of one of them, which I don't really fancy myself doing, to be fair.
Okay. Well, you're like me. You've got Saka in your team. I know Rossi's got Saka in his team. He's definitely been one of those that I was thinking of possibly transferring out. The reason being that's £10 million that I could put towards a better striker, better midfielders in general, people that are actually playing.
He's going to be out for a couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I've thought about, especially with the fixtures that they've got.
So,
none of your business, Dave.
Yeah, Saka. You think it'd be a couple of weeks? I didn't think it was that long.
Yeah, he's not even trained, mate.
He's definitely out of the Liverpool game.
What's that?
I didn't think it was that bad. I thought you only had like a strain.
Yeah, no, hamstring, mate. He's not even trained this week. He definitely won't be playing the Liverpool game, and I can't see him playing the game after either, to be fair.
Interesting.
I mean, look, hamstrings in general are 2-week injuries. So international week when he got injured was probably about 10 days ago now. So I'd suggest that he'd probably be very touch and go for this weekend, but probably back the week after, in my opinion. But because Arsenal's fixtures aren't that tasty at the moment, I've been umming and ahhing as to whether or not I utilise that money, but I also don't want to take a point here. The other one I was thinking about is Johan Wieser. Now, I know Dave talked about Mbuemo being very much the main man, but I feel like he dovetails... He's back this week and he dovetails a lot with Mbuemo.
He played 25 minutes last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that could be one option for myself as well. Okay, going on to Bugden then. What about yourself? Who are you looking at?
I've already taken a -4, putting Wieser in.
Okay.
That's me with Foden and you with Wieser.
Dead.
And I put, actually, no. I tried to free up some funds. I put in Rodgers.
What? Villa?
Like I said, yeah, because I told you I've got Adama and Semenyo who are not hitting points at the moment. One of them had to be sacrificed.
So Semenyo's out for Rodgers then for you?
No, I think I've got Adama. I think.
Okay.
So that's solid. Points next week then.
Doesn't mean he's starting. It just means he's in there. Cheap option.
And Rossi, for you?
I mean, I've looked at a few defenders lately because, like last week, I was going to get rid of Trent, so I've been scanning the defenders. I like Ant Nori for Wolves. He gets nice attacking returns, and they've got a really good fixture run. It's just, and I think personally they'll start going up now in the league. They've had such a bad run.
They had a horrible start, to be fair, in terms of the games they played.
They're too good to be. They're far too good to be where they are. On paper, that team is too good. So I think a Wolves could be a good. Not only Ant Nori, Kunta, whatever his name is up top, Cunha. I think he could be a good cheap option. Both of them cheap options. So they're good ways to look. But obviously, I got Wood in. He's got a nice run, so I won't be changing that.
They seem to play that Strand Larson quite a lot, don't they? I think he
plays every week, but he's a bit of a yellow card magnet, and he's like he's a bit of a
so's that Nori though, isn't he? Yellow card merchant.
No, I get that, but he's playing 90 minutes. He's up and down. He takes free kicks and corners, some corners. So, whereas Larson's just in the middle for the goals, and he can get them. Don't get me wrong, but I prefer Kunta and Nori. And I like Foden, but it's just when you're getting him in. But I also like Bernardo Silva. I think he's consistent across the board. Fulham have got a nice little run coming up. But yeah, they're the 3 or 4 that I looked at.
Bernardo doesn't seem to be affected ever by Pep Roulette either. That's the interesting one about him. He's never really he's never really dropped, is he?
Well, the thing is, if he doesn't play with 2 out-and-out wingers like Grealish and Doku, he puts Bernardo Silva on one of the wings. And if he hasn't got a midfielder, he puts him in the middle. So he's always got a role in the team. And worst case scenario, he plays as a number 10. And he's good at free kicks. I think he's a great pick at 6.5.
Yeah.
And if you say... I think so. And if you say Grealish and Doku are definitely out, then in my eyes, Silva's definitely starting against Southampton. So he could be a good one to get in. But they're the ones I've looked at, and I think I like the Everton guy as well. Bugden's got Keane. He's hit a couple of goals in the last 3 or 4 weeks. He seems to be their number 1 choice next to Tarzos.
Which is funny because Everton fans hate him.
Yeah, they booed him for the first 2 games that he come on, didn't they?
Another one for Everton is that McNeil. He seems to be scoring as well.
He seems to be doing a lot.
Yeah, McNeil is somebody that I've had a look at constantly throughout the season. His value is so low that actually what he brings to the team is is well above. I think his numbers, in terms of threat, the only person that's got more of a threat than him is actually Mo Salah, I think.
Yeah. Well,
so that's mad.
He's their only bit of quality. Realistically, when you look at their team, he's their apart from Calvert-Lewin, if he goes on a scoring run, no one else is going to get their goals.
Yeah.
Just to change the subject.
I agree.
I've just looked at the old Champions League table. Villa are top of it, aren't they?
Yeah, they're unbeaten, aren't they?
Did anyone watch them yesterday? They're unbelievable.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, they look very, very good. It's an interesting one, Villa, because I think their manager is criminally underrated. Underrated.
Best manager in the Premier League, apart from Pep.
Yeah, well, Pep's Pep, isn't he? But I just want to touch upon something, Indy, before we move on. So obviously next week is week 10. Week 10 for us, for those that subscribe to the channel and watch the channel, is another competition week. So it's another chance to win some money. This time it's £20 cash sent to your bank. We are included as hosts. We do include ourselves because why shouldn't we?
We want money.
We want money. So the rules are going to be
over.
Yeah, the rules are going to be the same as last time. It's going to be the highest scoring team. But the caveat this time is we don't care if you use a chip. It makes no odds. So if you triple captain Haaland and he scores.
So can I just say something, Dave? So that means to me, Dave doing triple captain on Haaland because he wants this. So he's allowed a chip this time.
I'm not confirming yes or no, but
subtle tell. That's a subtle tell, guys.
We are not including chips, so it is literally the highest scoring team, whether you have used a chip or not a chip. It makes no difference. It's £20 cash this time sent to your bank account. Again, it'll be the same as before. You got 24 or 48 hours, wasn't it? 48 hours to claim. If you don't claim, we'll pass it on to the next one. Let's try not to let it get to the third person because it was fucking boring last time. So if you win and you see the tweet or the Facebook post, stick yourself underneath it and claim the money. And obviously, I'm hoping this week it'll be me. I'm hoping for 20 quid sent to my bank, but we're all valid and eligible to win it. So rules again, simple. Highest scoring team. Doesn't matter if you use a chip this time. We'll allow it. We'll accept it. It's £20 cash sent to your bank. But you must respond in 48 hours.
Are you sending the money, Dave?
No.
Oh, right. Then someone will get it.
Yeah, within 48 hours, you have to claim. So once you see the tweet go up or the Facebook post go up, you have 48 hours from that point. If you don't claim, it moves on to the next person, and so on and so on and so on. But after the first one, I'm only doing 24 hours. So after the first 48, if you're second, you get 24 hours. Third, you get 24 hours. Fourth, you get 24 hours.
When does it turn into an IOU from Dave?
Straight away, mate. No, I'm joking. This directly coming from me direct, but it's quite simple. That you only have until the next show. If it isn't claimed by the next show, what I'll do is I'll roll it over. We'll just roll.
Dave, it's really weird. I've just got a private message from you saying, "Can I borrow £20?"
No, but it's nice and simple. It's nice and easy. It's a chance to win money. If you don't claim it, though, you're a fucking idiot. And if I win it, then I'll be claiming it straight away, as I'm sure these boys will. But anyway, I think we're pretty much there, aren't we? Indy, you got anything else you want to talk about?
It was just the final task was going to be who are your captain choices. Now, mine again will probably be that Haaland and Salah debate. I don't have Salah in my team, so therefore it's Haaland. And for you guys, just to finish off,
got to be Haaland this week, surely.
And Boma.
Raya.
Yeah, I think it'll be Haaland for me, but I am torn between somebody else just because of how much shit Haaland's given me the last few weeks. But Southampton are so poor defensively that realistically they're the team that are going to concede the most goals. But then I think you said Mbeumo, Russ, didn't you? They've got Ipswich, haven't they?
Yeah.
At home.
So that's another one that could concede a few. So for me, yeah, it's Haaland. What about you, Rossi?
Yeah, no, I can't believe it wouldn't surprise me if Haaland gets rested, but at the same time, it's got to be Haaland.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Yeah, I think where Southampton plays such a high line and the way that the amount of times that they lose the ball, I just think that they are tailor-made.
Yeah,
they're tailor-made for City, aren't they? Tailor-made.
Foden will end up with 4 assists in that game or something stupid, won't he?
Hopefully.
Yeah, well, if they all go to Haaland, we'll all be catching Russ if that's the case. Yeah, unless he double bluffs off and puts Haaland in.
Are you bluffing us?
What's that?
With Foden, you're bluffing us.
Nah, Foden's in my team.
Interesting. We'll see how that goes for you.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, so Dave's got a habit of copying the leader, so he'll just copy you now and stay 90 points behind you throughout the whole season.
That's all right. I've got Zinchenko left back.
Yeah.
I've got Ramsdale in goal.
Imagine having Ramsdale.
Dave, your notepad seems to be getting awfully filled. You're
literally writing
scribbling away.
Just really quickly, Russ, what is your starting 11?
What, for next week?
Yeah, I'm about to do a free hit, so.
All right, Ramsdale in goal. Zinchenko. Timber.
Yeah, that'd be that's what I'm doing at the moment in the league, mate. Timbering all the way down. But listen, I really appreciate you all coming on tonight. I get we're all tired and we're all fucking knackered and whatever else. And if you have tuned in, thank you very much. Indy, you've done a really good job of hosting, mate. So well done. It'll be one of the other boys next week. Rossi did it last week. Indy did it this week. Bugden or Russ, you are next. You get to fight out between you who does it. That's the rules. But yeah, listen. Episode 9's done. Episode 10 next week. We talk about who won the money. We'll talk about how Haaland scored 4 against Southampton, and we'll talk about who triple captained in and got shitloads of points and got all the cash in their bank. But
Dave definitely has.
Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.
Million%.
Really quickly, boys, how can we find you? Bug, you got any more followers yet?
Just the porn bot still.
Just the porn bot. So that Bug CFC on Twitter. Russell, you're at Wilson Brown 85, right?
That's all right, mate. Yeah,
Indeed, you are at H17NDD.
Yep.
Rossi doesn't know his still, but you'll find him here every week. Now, don't forget to tune in next week, next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Find out who won the money, but more importantly, to see me climbing up and not getting 28 points. But we'll see you all soon.
Laters. Peace.
Yeah, I think